Hi guys, so this is going to be my second video ever, and as you can see by the name of or the description of my channel, I'm talking about the Bible and the gospel and how it intersects with our everyday lives and what's going on now, especially with politics and government. And I want to talk a little bit today about the importance of faith, especially as we're entering these hard economic times that we seem to not be able to get a hold of from a government policy standpoint. We have interest rates that are exploding. It's going to affect the housing market. We have inflation, supply chain issues. So overall bleak economic times. And I don't have a lot of faith in this particular administration to get a handle on this type of stuff. So speaking of faith, I want to talk to you about the importance of faith. And in doing so, I want to talk to you about a story that's in 2 Kings chapter 4. And it's a story about a widow who needs to have faith to overcome economic hardships. So in this story, a woman, his husband just dies, and she has young children. She can't pay her bills, and she is in desperate need. And her husband was part of what was called a company of prophets. And she reaches out to one of the more prominent members of that group of prophets. And forgive me, I may pronounce this name wrong, but I am new to this. But if I waited to be perfect in all of this, you'd be waiting a long time for me to get these videos out. And like I said, and share these messages. So the prophet's name is Elisha, I believe is how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. If anybody wants to help me out with that, respond in the comments. And she goes to him, and she basically talks about that she's in desperate need of money. And he asks her, what do you have in the house? And she says, all I have here is a small jar of olive oil. And he tells her, okay, I want you to go out to your neighbors and borrow all the empty jars that they have. And don't just ask for a few. The lesson here is that he wants her to go out off of faith and collect a whole bunch of empty jars. The point being, she's going to come back with those jars, and with that small jar of olive oil that she already possesses, God is going to bless her, and she's going to be able to take that jar and continue to pour oil into all the jars that she's collected. Now, that's obviously a miracle. And then she's going to be able to take all the oil of all these in all these various jars and go out and sell them and get all the money that she needs to fulfill her obligations, not get tossed out of her house, be able to provide for her family. The key point is when the prophet tells her, you go out and don't just get a few. Because when she comes back with those jars and she starts pouring oil into each and every one of them, the oil would have lasted as long as the amount of jars that she has lasts. So obviously, the more jars she had, the more she would be able to go out, and the more more money she would make. So, what type of faith did she have when she went out and did this? When she collected all the jars, did she just go next door, or are the neighbors on her street? Did she go all over the neighborhood? How many jars did she collect? She had to take that leap of faith first in order to receive her blessing. So as we go into these tough economic times, I want you all to remember this story. Because God will see us through. He will never give us more than what we can handle. And there are in these tough economic times that are coming, have that faith. Take those leaps. Maybe it's an idea that you had, or a business that you wanted to start, or an investment that you wanted to make. Don't be afraid of what's going on around you in the world. Have that faith. Demonstrate that faith. That's the important part. So maybe you got to go down and have that money that you had in the savings and put it in that investment. Maybe if you had a dream of opening up a store, you got to go and get that lease, even if you don't know where the rent payment's coming from. I know that's scary. It's scary to me too. But once you demonstrate that faith, if you're a believer, your faith will be rewarded. And that's what I want to share with you today. So God bless and take care. See you on the next one.